Hey, good morning, Choice Residential. Hope your day's off to a terrific start. So I get agents asking me a lot of times, what did I do as an agent to keep in touch with my sphere of influence? As you may know, most of my business came from my sphere, referrals, past clients. To be honest with you, I didn't like talking to strangers. I wasn't ever going to call someone if they weren't expecting my call. And so my business relied heavily and almost exclusively on referrals and people I knew in my network. And so the question then is, how do you stay in touch with those people to stay top of mind? Because that's really the name of the game. You know, you're a great real estate agent. You know, these people are better off working with you than with anyone else. And yet you may not want to be seen as a salesperson. So how do you stay top of mind so that when these people have a need, whether that's themselves needing to transact in real estate, or maybe someone they know at work or in the neighborhood or at church, has a need where they're going to be moving, how do you get them to think of you and refer your name out, right? It starts, of course, with you being the best agent you can be and you knowing that you are the best person for them. And so then you can look at it and say, well, my job, I'd be doing them a disservice not to stay top of mind with them for all of their real estate needs, because when they have a need, they're better off coming to me. So if we start with that as the foundation, then how do you stay in touch with them so you can stay top of mind? Well, I'm going to let you know what I did, and this kind of gives you a general roadmap. The other thing is that we live in an age where it is so easy to figure out how to do things. Hop on to Chat GPT, ask it how to send out postcards, and it's going to walk you through the steps on how to do that. So that being said, don't let some of those little obstacles of, I don't know exactly how to do this, stop you from staying in front of your database in a meaningful way. So with that, here's kind of a quick roadmap to what I did as an agent. First of all, I would send out a just listed, just sold, under contract, that type of postcard to my database, my sphere of influence. So again, when I say database, I'm using that interchangeably with the sphere of influence. So these are people who I know and who know me. Okay, not strangers, not just people who live in a neighborhood I'd like to work in, but people who are going to recognize my face, recognize my name. Even if we're not best friends, they know who I am, and vice versa. Okay, that's your sphere of influence. So of course that encompasses past clients and friends and people you may know from church and other social settings. So you're going to send a postcard out once a month to your sphere of influence. This is just listed, just sold, under contract, that type of postcard, because it's letting them know that you are an active agent, so that you are active in the market, because people want to know that you are actively doing things. They associate that with success and with expertise. So they need to know that you're a mover and a shaker and are doing things. Now, if you don't have any current listings or current under contracts, there are lots of houses for sale listed by other Choice agents. So you can simply get permission from that agent to advertise their listing to your sphere of influence. Most of the time, agents will have no problem with that. It's just extra exposure, and you're marketing to your sphere of influence, not theirs. So they'll be perfectly fine with that. So sending that, what I call proof of production postcard out once a month to your database, to your sphere of influence. I would also then send out something else, either a newsletter that you actually physically print and mail, or I used to use Home by Design magazine. If you have questions about that, let me know. I can connect you with our representative at Home by Design magazine. But that would go out, for the version I used, went out 6 times a year. They do make a smaller version of the magazine that goes out monthly. I just did the every other month version that was a thicker, more substantial magazine. There are some editable pages on those magazines. But that's going to get you right there between postcards and the magazines, somewhere between 18 and 24 touches throughout the course of the year. So you are arriving in their mailbox something between 18 and 24 times a year, with plans that are pretty well automated. Postcards you're having to update monthly and go through a few steps to mail them out. But there are online services, so you're not actually handling postcards, right? You're just updating the information and then pushing them out through these websites. Some additional touches, and we're just talking physical touches to their home. So not emails, but things that they can actually hold in their hand. In my opinion, that's going to have a greater impact on the power that it has to stay top of mind versus only what they see in email or social media, because you're competing with so much other noise in those mediums. Whereas direct mail, there's less competition because everything else is just like a junk mail ad, coupons. Or a bill, something like that. So you're not competing with nearly as much in their mailbox. just gives you a little more staying power in terms of brand awareness and top of mind awareness. So some other things that you can do throughout the year. Vendor letters. These were one of my favorites. And so it doesn't have to be on any set timeline. You could just plan to do it quarterly to make sure that you do it consistently. But really, anytime you come across a vendor that's just you've had a great experience with, share that with your database. It's so selfless. You're not asking for anything. You're just reminding them that you are a resource and that when they have a need, to reach out to you because you have great people. So if you come across a great landscaper or plumber or HVAC person, just simply put that into a letter. Say, hey, I had this great experience, or my client had a great experience. I wanted to share this with you. Put them in your phone. If you ever have an HVAC need, this would be the first place I would start. Or if you need some landscaping work done, this is the first place I would start. And then send that out to them. And I do encourage you, do it as a letter rather than an email. Print it out, fold it, mail it, and I would hand address those envelopes. It takes longer, get some help from a high school student, whatever it is, but it is more meaningful. They are going to open that hand addressed envelope. If it's just an email, even if they open it, it's going to be out of their mind just like that. So this letter is going to have more staying power. And if you can get the business cards of the vendors you're sending out, even better. Now they have a tangible thing that they can hold on to or use to add into their phone contacts, or whatever it may be. I also encourage sending out birthday notices. Now, for me, that was probably more likely going to be a text message rather than a birthday card. I personally wasn't a birthday card type of person, so I was going to send a text message and say, hey, happy birthday, thinking about you and the family, whatever it is. And so those are some of the touches in terms of direct mail that you might do. One other thing that we did, not until after I got married, but that was our holiday card that we would send out to all of our friends and family. That also went out to my sphere of influence, which included past clients. I considered them to be part of the friends and family. So they were now part of the greater Oregon kind of family, loop or whatever. So, feel free to send out those kinds of personal things. Some agents would send a year in review letter out. So this is a letter that maybe encompasses what happened personally and professionally with you over the course of the previous year. Those are always a big hit as well. Then on top of those things, you're just going to do all the other touches that you might do. These are phone calls, text messages, anything you're going to do on social media. Maybe you have some kind of home valuation automated email that goes out. You might be doing client events or pop buys, all the other stuff you might do. But the direct mail is important because it's basically every other week they're getting something from you that is bringing you back up to top of mind awareness, because you never know when they're going to have a need to refer somebody. And if they haven't heard from you in 6 months, I'm sorry, but their job is not to be thinking about you and remembering you. Your job is to never let them forget about you. So this direct mail campaign is the foundation to maintaining that top of mind awareness. And then all of the personal interactions you do throughout the year, phone calls, in person, text messages, all these other types of interactions, you don't even have to talk about real estate because they associate you with real estate already. That's the name of the game. That's when you know you've got the top of mind awareness that is going to lead to endless referrals. So hopefully this gives you some inspiration, motivation. Don't let the logistics of getting these things out stop you. Go into ChatGPT. If you need a referral for Home by Design contact, I'm happy to get that to you so that you can talk to them and understand what that looks like and what the costs associated with that are. But this is a small investment into your sphere of influence that is going to pay infinite returns because these people will now think of you when they have a need and when they know someone who has a need. So hopefully this was helpful. Please put in the comments below if you have any experiences or other ideas of really great touches that you've had with your sphere of influence over the years. As always, thanks for listening. And until next time, take care.